everybody, TGIF. It is Tony George along with Sean Salisbury. We're talking Major League Baseball. And folks, if you're not tuning in and staying tuned into these, we are on a roll. 6-1, our last 7 with free picks, Sean. 4-0 the other day between your opinions and my opinions on Tuesday. I'm sure everybody was disappointed Thursday we couldn't get it worked out. That was my fault. I had a little family situation, but we're back today. And my first question is, what are the San Diego Padres with their injury list? And Musgrove last game gave up 8 hits and 4 runs in 5 innings. What are they doing laying 160 to the Cardinals, who are pretty hot right now, Sean? This line kind of intrigues me a little bit. If you're wanting to look at an underdog in Major League Baseball today, there's a couple different ways to play this. But your thoughts on this line here, it kind of confuses me a little bit.
Yeah, you're talking about momentum, and both pitching staffs, ERAs, are both. I mean, their starting pitching's pretty good. Now Musgrove, most recently, but their staff overall, Padres has been really good. Now the Cardinals, keep an eye on this. I bet you sometime, and I know it has nothing to do with this game, but keep an eye. And I was talking about this morning. Max Scherzer is in the last year of a contract. I'm just looking down the road for St. Louis. I don't think Max Scherzer's in the last year of, I think, a 7-year, $200 million deal or whatever it is. And he's from Missouri, as you know, Tony. And he's pitching his ass off as he always does. Come trading deadline, when we're having one of these lines, don't be surprised if St. Louis starts to inquire about some Max Scherzer to see if that depends on if Washington's hovering around 500, not playing great baseball, right? And that would be a good get if you're talking about them. And I'm just mentioning the St. Louis Cardinals in this one. But when it comes to the Padres, that's another team that we think has World Series aspirations, good staff. But what Musgrove's going to show up tonight? That's the big key for me.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. This might be a good position where you jump on an underdog. And I like the under in this game as well, Tony. What's it, 6.5 runs?
7.
Oh, okay. It's up to 7 then. So I'm still, by the time we're done with this conversation, I'll have a pretty good idea where I'm going to go. But I know both staffs are good, but it'll hinge on which staff is showing up for the Padres.
Well, I'm concerned about the Padres hitting rotation tonight too, which lends some credence to the under 7 in this game because they've got a lot of bats out. And they've been hit and miss at best lately. And we've talked about the Padres basically this entire baseball season because I know you keep an eye on the West out there. Obviously, you're an LA guy, and we keep an eye. San Francisco's been the cream of the crop so far, and LA's been a disappointment, and you don't know what you're getting. And San Diego has all the potential in the world to contend for this division and go deep into the pennant race. But the way they just haven't been healthy. They haven't been able to formulate any chemistry offensively, and I think beating up on the Rockies and scoring some runs there, well, that's not a huge accomplishment.
Right.
Especially in the hitter-friendly park like it is. Colorado can't get out of their own way right now, so I don't have a lot of confidence in these guys. And like I said, the last time Musgrove faced a good team, he got lit up like a Christmas tree in Rockefeller Plaza. I'm not going to do it. And I think the other way that I would bet this is, if you want to play the run line, take the plus 1.5 runs with the Cardinals and lay the 135 versus taking the plus 140, or bet it both ways. But I think that this is going to be easily a 3-2, 2-1 type ball game, Sean. I don't see a lot of fireworks going on here tonight.
Yeah, Tony, let me validate what you're saying too. And this is in Petco. If I haven't been mistaken, they're playing at home in San Diego. In past, it's become more hitter friendly. But when they built that ballpark, and off that, it's right there down by the water. There are times when that's a brutal park to hit in. It's gotten better over the years. Don't misunderstand me. And if you got power, you got power. But that's always been known in the past as a pitcher's park. And to validate what you're saying, both these teams, I was looking at the numbers of hitting. San Diego's hitting 233 and St. Louis 231 overall as a team. So they're not mashing when it comes to average now. Both got capable power. And then you got the St. Louis team, which is a bit surprising. They may not be hitting, with the normal average that you would think, but they're like 9th in the league in runs scored. But I'm with you. I looked at this line. I said, I don't see 7-5. I've had some
Yeah,
real good run with a lot of overs in certain ballparks and certain teams. The only thing that concerns me is if they get to him early, meaning Musgrove, and he's, what is he, 2-4 this year. So they get to him early, and then the bullpen comes in. But that might not be a bad thing with the rest of the staff for the San Diego Padres. I'm with you. I like the under, and I actually think, as much as I like the Padres, St. Louis is in first place in the division, playing better. I'm not sure I don't like them on both ways with the, as an underdog and with the under, but I'm sticking with the under in this game. I think this is 4-2, 3-2, 3-1 type of game because neither offense has hit the explosion on a consistent basis that we
right.
would expect, and injuries come into play as well. I like the under in this game.
3-2 game, 2-1 game. Even I don't think either team will get to 4 runs here tonight, and both bullpens are good.
Yep.
They are good. And St. Louis is not known to completely light it up. And I think Musgrove, he's a really good pitcher. He's just in a little mini slump, and everybody has him. It's like having a bad round of golf when you're a 6 handicap, you go out and shoot a 95. It
Right.
happens.
Right.
And I think that's what's going on here. I think he'll show up tonight, and I think this is a low-scoring, tight ball game. I'll take the run line in St. Louis and lay about $1.30 here, but I will agree on the consensus pick on the under 7 with Sean Salisbury. Be sure and catch Sean on iHeartRadio on the Sean Salisbury Show, one of the best sports talk shows in the country. And Sean, the Twitter's at Sean Unfiltered. Always got some great tweets out there for everybody to get, and he engages with everybody. That's something, kind of a, you're kind of a big deal. You've been around the block. You're well known. And a lot of
I'm not
guys.
even a household name in my own home, brother, but I'm trying. So thank you. Yes,
Well,
I'll engage for sure.
Well, she just knows you better than the rest of us. That's why. But nonetheless, tune in to Sean at Sean Unfiltered. And, of course, his radio show. And check us out over at Doc Sports with a free $60 account. Here, get on board over the weekend. Tons of sport. UFC 262 on Saturday as well. So we'll have some cards. Sean, you a UFC fan?
I am, but I'm not one of those guys. If you said like who the 42nd ranked UFC guy is, I used to be a huge boxing fan, Tony, but when the heavyweight division is not great as it has been, you kind of loses interest. But I do love it, but I'm not one of those guys. Say, Sean, who's the 45th ranked? I'd say I don't know, but there's names. I know who the top 25 dudes are, but I enjoy. I actually think it's more. I think it's the popularity is better than boxing right now. I do. I know the purses may not be as big, but I am a fan. I think those guys are crazy, and I mean that affectionately. They're nut jobs in a good way, my kind of guys. But I do follow it, but I don't. It's not one of those things where I know the depth of it like I would boxing or another sport.
Yeah, well, be sure and tune into the action. I love it. I'm an old school. In my 50s, I remember the huge prize fights with De La Hoya and Pacquiao.
Oh, yeah.
Sugar Shane Mosley and then the big heavyweight division. And I miss those days. I really do. Saturday night, stay home and watch HBO to catch the Tyson fight or, the Julio Cesar Chavez fight, the Pernell Whitaker,
John the Beast Mugabe and Frank the Animal Fletcher. Those are my days, brother. I miss it. Yes, sir.
Well, we got some UFC action at Doc, so be sure and check it out. Thanks for tuning in, folks.